Good evening, and welcome to the Psychic Coffee Shop. I'm Aeson Knight, and with me tonight is Miss Raine S Love, straight back from Miami. I tell you, she was down there at the beach.
I was having fun, and it is wonderful to be back.
Yeah, you were having a good old time, and, it was a little interesting watching your pictures because, as you start noticing these pictures, you're like, she's in Miami, oh, there's the beach. What in the world is she doing? Oh, goodness, she may just move down there. And it was real nice that the FedEx delivered the pizza, although I thought you'd at least send the delivery driver with it, but that's okay, honey. FedEx was cute, too.
That's all that counts, right?
Exactly. And
yeah,
the pizza was delicious.
Oh, wonderful. Well, that was the goal. Absolutely a ball. Got to ride on a speedboat yesterday. That was pretty cool, too.
Good.
Yeah. So it's wonderful to be back, and lots of things going on out there in the world. Some things kind of touching and some things kind of serious, but I don't know, Aeson, where do you think we should start tonight?
Oh, let's start with in Texas, because the Texas story touches me.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, in Texas, there was a jailbreak. About 8 prisoners broke out of jail, out of their holding facility, and it wasn't to run away or to, get themselves in more trouble. It was to save a guard that had passed out and became unconscious. They noticed that he was unconscious in a blind spot of the security camera, so nobody could see him but the prisoners. So they broke out of it and radioed for help, which is even more scary, more touching. Now, me and her both have worked in the prison system or in the at-risk youth system that ties into the prison system. I was clergy, volunteer clergy for one of the federal prisons here, and really enjoyed it for a period of time. And I'll be honest, I can go and we can go and I can hire me probably some of the toughest bodyguards known to man. The prison always offered me, do you need a guard? Do you want guards with you? Because I would go out into the population. I was like, no, my boys have got it. And they're like, oh, they're prisoners. You can't trust them. I'm like, oh, yeah, I can. I'm sorry. I would rather have my boys that was at BOP prison, which I'm sure a few of them are out by now and may be listening. Thank you for your service then. Than I would the guards. They knew what was up. The guards didn't.
And having worked with, I worked with youth who were in trouble for many years, who actually were a part of the prison system on a lower level, obviously, although they had committed some of the same crimes. You do find that when you work with people, there's a certain trust, okay? Even in any kind of environment, they create bonds, they create ties, and there's always a bit of humanity there, and I think that this story was really sweet. They tried to get help, and of course, nobody could hear them. They were actually getting ready to go into court. But, even the prisoners had stated they were a little bit afraid that somebody was going to show up with guns because they broke out. And apparently the cell they were in was very easy to break out of because, it wasn't as tightly built as the rest of the prison because they were handcuffed and they were going into court. However, they saw somebody in need. I'm pretty sure that they most likely had a bond, at least some bond with this person over time. As a matter of fact, the article had even talked about they were talking to the gentleman right before this happened.
Mm-hmm.
The nice thing is, though, when you're going into court, okay, and I never been in that kind of trouble myself. However, when somebody's going into court and you're wanting to make an impression, face it, it's going to make a much better impression when you have, done something like this, rather than they could have taken another alternative.
Right.
They chose not to.
They chose not to.
Yeah.
They chose to sit back and actually, they radioed for help, and most of them went back into the holding area, holding facilities, and no, they're not, the hard jail, locked door prison, which is a good thing, or they would have lost a guard. It is more like a kennel cage for them. And, it's just wire and steel. And apparently they were able to pop the door open with enough force that normally would not have occurred in this situation, to reach the mic and, to reach the guard's walkie-talkie. And none of them tried to leave past that area, is what I found interesting. None of them tried to escape. None of them tried to go, oh, we're unguarded, let's go become craziness. No, it was very orderly. They've released the footage of it, and, it took us a while to find it, news this week, to be honest, because, we're not going to be talking about the insanity in Cleveland. Sorry, Cleveland listeners, we love you to death. We're sorry you got a three-ring circus going on there. But it was really, really interesting and really honorable. Very, very honorable. Because, the guard was out. The door was open. They could have made a run for it. They chose not to.
Right. Well, it also shows the humanity of all people, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And whether you're in that kind of environment, I know that many times with my students, sometimes I would run into situations, because I didn't just work with kids who had just, maybe they'd skipped school, although a lot of them had skipped school. I was working with students who had been heavily involved in gangs, had been in prison, had committed serious crimes. And, they're looking for that bond in whatever environment they're in. And this is why sometimes even gangs are so prevalent, because people are looking for that bond, that group, that people. And they're going to look for it in prison too.
Right.
Because at the core there is a heart.
Right. And there is a need for community. And there is a need for goodwill.
Right.
And at the core, no matter what, and, I told my wife, I don't care what you've done. I don't want to know it. Don't tell me it. I don't want to have any idea of what you've done. Now, over the 3 years that I was there, I found out what a few of them was. And it was, some of them were white collar. One was a counterfeiter because he was an artist and he'd done wonderful. And, and another one was in for this or another one was in for that. And, but, for people that make $1.27 a month, they get creative. I'm telling you, some of the projects they would come up with, things they'd want to do, what they used to make the projects was very, very creative. Things that we take for granted. Example, chip bags. One person made mirrors out of chip bags, potato chip bags and cardboard, and then painted pictures in the mirror so it would look like someone is looking back to you.
Right.
And, and it's like, why is, and that was just one of the creative people. Another one was into stitchery and knitting and could do beautiful tapestries. And I'm like, why did you get here? And all of them said the same thing. We all made one stupid mistake, and it now is going to follow us for the rest of our lives if we get out. And a lot of them didn't want out. That was the surprising thing. Normally, if you think of somebody in prison or, gone to jail, then they want out. Then you would think that they would want to get out. A few of them didn't want to get out because they're like, we can't operate out there. Why go out and try to get there?
Yeah, and that's actually not all that uncommon. But here's one point that you brought up with respect to the creativeness in the artwork. I often found my students were very creative and very artistic. And if you go back and you look at the school system, we're told to teach a certain way. We're told to teach to a test. We often give kids, printouts, ditto sheets, as they call them, or at least used to call them. And we have a lot of people who learn very, very differently. And so a lot of times these creative young people, in fact, statistically, believe it or not, a lot of them are left-handed. I can say that because I'm left-handed, okay? You just don't fit into the normal realm. So you have a lot of creative energy. I found rarely did I get a student who was not artistic in some manner or form. Plus, also, think about it. They're there. They're limited on what they have access to. So they have to be creative with what they have. Right. Beautiful artists. Beautiful
modern and classical artists. And what gets me, and you brought up the school system that we have. Our school system that is currently in place is not designed for learning. It's designed for training factory workers.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Factory workers.
Yeah. And the thing of it is that goes back not to this century, but on into the last century, okay? Because
it goes on into the last century.
Right.
Because this was populated, schooling was populated for the need for factory workers that came up into the, that's why we now have 12 grades, and class has to be 8 hours a day, with a 30-minute lunch break and 2 other breaks. And, in 100 years, I dare say that we won't have factories because we'll have 3D printing. So, we need to get past this situational of this type of education because it doesn't work for a lot of people.
Well, and, in all honesty, I don't know how much they do it in the regular schools, but if you're talking about schools outside of the regular school system, and I know that they were bringing that into my school system and the schools attached to the particular school system that I worked with because of the type of students that we dealt with. They were learning in a more creative manner. They were not using your standard modalities, okay? There were variations on hours. There were variations on projects and learning and how they learned. And they were being taught to learn in a different way to make them more productive. The goal was to make them more productive in the new system that we are now a part of, which everyone feels so lost. Because, yeah. And
there's this institute in Silicon Valley, and they have maybe 120 students, and the students are carefully selected, but they teach at the student's level what the student wants to learn. And that, after you get your basics, math, science, reading, writing, and arithmetic, you have students studying physics. You have 7-year-olds taking apart atoms. And I'm like, this can be done. But, and they've tried, but again, it's very highly selective. Most of their parents work for some of the major, Microsoft and a lot of the other major tech corporations. So, of course, their kids are used to technology. And, we're trying to find that in our schools.
And wouldn't it be wonderful if they could bring that to different areas of the country, different subgroups, groups of students who are more in an area where there's poverty, the education system is bad, the funding isn't there, and bring it to these kids.
Well, here's the thing.
Those opportunities.
Okay. Looking at it from my perspective, I'm a tech genius. I can be very much a tech genius. I run 2 to 5 computers, depending on how much project I've got running. I live in West Virginia, who has to have 181 days of schooling. All right? And most of the time they end up going over the school year, or they end up starting early, like the kids here are going to be starting in like 2 weeks in August.
Yes.
Because they're already starting the back to school thing because of snow days. In today's world, there is no reason to have a school at all. Past probably grade 8. Okay? There is no reason to have a high school building other than for like large activities. Most classroom activities can be done today in a technological environment that these people are going to have to operate.
So, but here's something I want you to think about, okay? And I understand the point. At least I think I understand the point that you're trying to get to, okay? Not necessarily having, those gray or the school system that we presently have, but changing it. And this is what I was talking about, where I know that there are some schools who are geared towards more of that change, more technology-based education. It's changing the system to where it's not just a status quo. And one of the frustrations that a lot of teachers have, and I know that I had that myself, was we had to teach to the test.
Right, and that's not
weren't
teaching.
Given another option.
Well, that's not teaching, but even
students.
taking it to that environment of, okay, you got to pass test. There's no, within my little county right now, we are having problems building schools because most of the counties are tired and said, oh, we ain't paying for new buildings. Fix the ones you got.
Right.
And for like 2 months there, kids from this county was being shipped to another county because the building was unsafe to teach in.
Wow.
Why they did not deploy an online system, because these kids have got tablets bought by the school, donated by Microsoft, donated by Apple. They have chat systems. They have video equipment. They have their books. Their textbooks now are on the tablet.
Right.
Why we are continuing to work in a model that no longer works is insane.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about, earlier with students that we had, is they have access to all of this stuff, to the tablets, to the projects.
Right.
Now, with my students, legally, according to the law, because they were in trouble with the law, they had to be supervised. That wasn't an option. But, I do agree, if they have access to all that stuff. And there are a lot of schools that are online-based. It's just not our public education necessarily.
Right. K through 12 is one that's totally online based, and they're seeing a very high more significant of graduation, because you no longer have that issue of peer pressure situations, single children popping up and having babies and have to leave school because they're having a baby. They can take their school with them anywhere they want to go. And I think that will be a lot better.
Yeah, but, I understand what you're saying there. The only thing is we have to make sure that our youth also have a way to be able to socialize and learn how to deal with life as well. I think that's important.
Right, and that can be done with extracurricular activities. Football, basketball, cheerleading, choir, drama, art symposium, whatever. All that can be filled in, and we could be saving a whole lot more money. Plus, we can be getting better teachers that maybe don't want to live in bumfuck Egypt. Maybe they want to live in LA and teach in West Virginia. Or maybe they want to live in England and teach in the Americas. Speaking of England,
yes,
Theresa May has joined an exclusive club. She is now one of the 23 ladies in leadership places of their government, meaning they lead everything together.
Right, exactly. which is kind of actually very, very cool.
Right.
And as we all know that, we have the Brexit,
Right.
that just recently passed for us for them. And a lot of concerns as to all the changes happening, what's going to happen with the leadership, what's going to happen with the country, with the money, the finances, trade, relationships with other countries, how's it going to affect allies, how's it going to affect NATO, and the list goes on and on.
Well,
And,
she is no soft cookie. She's already said she stood up and moved the lords and commoners, I don't know what they call their Senate, but basically to renew the nuclear project. She's already said, I will push the button. She's met with probably one of the greatest leaders that I know, which is the Prime Minister of Germany. And you want to talk about tough cookie? She is.
Yes, but she would have to be.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, she would absolutely have to be. But and I know there's a lot of viewpoints as to whether or not they should have left. As far as I'm concerned, I support whatever people vote in their country, and if that's something that was really, really important to them, then so be it.
Sure.
They have their reasons, and I can't even say that I completely understand. Granted, I don't know all the issues. I'm not British.
Right.
However,
I'm not British either, but I understand a lot of the issues. A lot of the issues was a lot of their money was going to finance Euro, UK.
And other countries not getting the equal same amount.
Exactly.
And it affecting their people.
Well, their people and their livelihoods and their businesses, plus they could not all agree on an immigration plan for all these people running out of the Middle East. That was a big sticking point. Another big sticking point was being able to handle the elderly, maybe from another country that did not take as well care of their elderly, coming to Britain to live and to live within the government system of Britain, because they could live with, Britain takes care of the elderly. Britain takes care of their pension plans. Britain provides free health care. And not all countries was doing that or matching Britain on the level that it does do that.
Key point right there. Matching the level. And so that was affecting their quality of life. And also, you have a lot of frustration over their own safety because other countries are letting people come in. They have no choice if they're crossing the border.
Right. They have no choice after they cross the border. The UK Union says you have to let them on in. And they could settle anywhere and apply for citizenship and be granted it through the European Union. So there were a lot of issues. She's already stated that we ain't dealing with this in 2016. I've got other fish to fry. And it's going to be an orderly process. These two ladies, these two leaders, said, no, this is not going to be chaos and pandemonium. We are going to do this in measured process. We're still a part of Europe. We're just not part of the European Union. So I think that Theresa is handling it well. And I think she's going to be another tough cookie, like, the British leader. Not the British leader. What is her name?
Angela Merkelov.
Yeah, Angela Merkelov. I've seen her speak to her own people. She doesn't pull any punches. I really, really, really like her. And I really like Theresa May. I think they're going to do really well. And I think that they bounce off of each other very well. and being those ladies in power. And look at Germany's economy. It has gone up completely since Madeline put in things and started taking care of the people of Germany.
Right.
And I think that we're going to see that out of Theresa May. I think that she's got that mothering but also war package, just like Thatcher had, because this is Britain's second female prime minister. So, that'll be interesting.
Well, and the thing of it is, this was really important to the people there, and that's why they voted the way that they did. And, I know a lot of people, it's going to fall apart, it's going to cause horrible things. Of course there's going to be adjustments. There's going to be adjustments for them. There's going to be global adjustments as well. However, I believe that they have the right, and I do believe that they will work it out and survive. And no, it is not going to be something that's overnight.
No. The ladies have made it clear it will not be overnight. They've made it clear that it is going to be an orderly process and that trade will still go on. Because originally when this came out, they were like, we're not going to be able to do trade. No, we're going to still do trade, but now it's going to be, okay, this is the policy for Britain. This is the policy for the European Union countries, which there's only 17 of. Mm-hmm. But, within her first week in office, she hit the ground running, honey. The chamber has been active, and this is what I like about the British government versus ours. We have, a divided house, and then everything has to go to the president. Not there. The president the prime minister actually sits in there and debates with them and responds directly to them. And, it's kind of like, if our president does the State of the Union, she does the State of the Union every day. She's in those cabinet meetings. She's right there on the debating floor, and she's shut a lot of them up within minutes of taking office. So that was really cool. Well,
one thing that, in reading information about her, she made it very, very clear that, Britain was still going to have a solid, strong military.
Yeah.
Okay, that was really, really important. Important for the world, for Britain's allies, such as ourselves, to see that they were strong, that they were still standing by their allies. Because, see, right now, they do need to have their allies, and their allies do need to stand by them, too.
Well, not only that, but, she wants more. She wants more military, which is different from Tony Blair, very much different from Tony Blair. Tony was trying to reduce the military and to balance the budget. And she's like, we need more. If we got to raise taxes, we'll raise taxes. If we got to cut expenses, we'll cut expenses. But we need to keep the nuclear program. Because contrary to if you really look at nuclear weapons in general and deterrence, you have the United States, then you have Russia, then you have Georgia, then you have Britain that has these deterrents. And what people don't know is the British nuclear deterrents are submarines. They can launch attacks anywhere, and she is very much a high-powered believer around that. Well, Rainey, honey, now we're past 5 topics. Let's take a break, and then we're going to start Roundtable and start taking you guys' calls. Yes.
Absolutely. Well, let's take a break, and we'll let you know how it works when we come on back. See you in a minute.
And you'll find us at www.themagichappens.com, your free online magazine.
Are you at a crossroads in your life? Or are you feeling stuck and not sure where to turn? We can help. Visit our website at psychic.biz from your computer, smartphone, or tablet, where you can get accurate readings and insight by speaking with any one of our tested advisors. We offer live chat, video sessions, one-on-one phone calls, and even email readings. We have several gifted psychics, tarot readers, astrologers, and other healers from around the world who are available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Your initial chat is always free, and our psychics do offer special prices and low per-minute rates. Visit us today at psychic.biz and get the guidance you need today for your tomorrow.
You're listening to The Magic Happens Radio Network, sponsored by The Magic Happens magazine. You'll find us at www.themagichappens.com.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Do you have burning questions you need answered? We all do. Visit our website at psychic.biz, where you can find accurate psychics, tarot readers, and astrologers from around the world who are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can have your questions answered anonymously and right from your computer, tablet, or smartphone. The introductory chat is always free, and we offer low per-minute rates and special promotions. Our online psychics offer helpful, practical guidance into what matters most to you. Visit us today at psychic.biz.
And you'll find us at www.themagichappens.com, your free online magazine.
Well, welcome back, everyone. I hope that you're ready for our things. Raine, did you make it back with us?
I am here.
Yay! Now tell them how we do this, because, we do it our way.
This is true. And as you call in, we would like to have your first name and your birth date and year, because legally we have to make sure you're at least 21 or 18.
18. We're not serving alcohol tonight.
I always do that to make sure that you're at least 18. And please give us one question. And we don't do general readings. We do take questions. And, Aeson, we're ready for that first caller. Who do we have online?
Just a moment, honey. You forgot something. We do take them in the order they are received in the call log. Oh. So when you call in, it's numbered, and we go down the list by the numbers. All right, so our first one tonight is 617. 617, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
What's your name and birthday, dear?
My name is Taryn, and my birthday is April 2nd, 1964.
Awesome.
1964.
And what's your question, darling?
My question is, oh boy, I feel like something is transforming within me. I feel a lot of energy. I just feel like I'm breaking free.
Well, I think you're unloading a lot of baggage that you've been carrying with you for a while now. I'd say for the past 2 years, you've been going through a lot of struggles, and you basically said, forget this, I'm getting rid of it. And I feel like that's why you're feeling that relief, that, moment.
Yeah.
And I feel like you've got to keep that work up, though.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah,
I do.
And if you do that, then I think you'll be a lot more comfortable and a lot more freer. and you will be able to focus more on things.
Okay.
Okay. And I feel like you'll have this for the next 3.5 months, and then you go back into doing some more self-work.
Really?
Really.
Yeah.
Because you just get a break.
I don't feel that.
Yeah, you're getting ready to go through stuff.
Like what?
Like, you're going to take a financial change for the better, but it's going to stress you out. You're going to go through some relationship involvements and some growth in that probably around the middle of October. So that's going to be picking up and changing, and that'll be causing a little bit of stress. But if you remember to release like you've now learned and you're now doing, you won't have that feeling of dread that you have had in the past.
Really? Because that's it was interesting that you said financial for the upswing, and you're correct on that, because I'm definitely looking for a better and bigger job. Matter of fact, I'm meeting with someone on Monday, just to see what opportunities are available for me. That's you're correct on that. And number 2, in regards to relationship, I'm not in a girlfriend-boyfriend relationship, but there is someone that I'm interested in, and we're still in the process of friends, getting to know each other.
Right.
So are you saying that's going to change?
Yeah, that's going to move from just friends to more.
Around what time? You say around October?
September.
Oh, September.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's going to stress me out?
It's going to stress you out because that's when you get that I want to say a little bit fuzzier moment. And, you start opening up those old wounds of, what if this happens? What if that happens?
Right. Okay. You're right. Yeah. That's true. Wow.
Okay, so you're going to have to deal with that. And I would suggest don't get stressed out. Be relaxed about it and allow it to produce what you want out of it. And, take the lesson that you've got right now of, hey, if I don't pack on a bunch of crap, I don't feel that yucky, gutty way. That's
right. You're right. That's so true. I've just been happy and just giggly and just just downright silly.
Good.
Oh.
Keep that energy there. Keep that energy flow there. Okay?
Okay. Because people are looking at me like, what are you smoking?
Well, that's when you say I'm smoking life, honey, because I ain't carrying around that ex-boyfriend that was done this and this to me. And I ain't worried about that boss that I had back when I was 16 that told me that I could fry chicken.
Amen.
That's when you look at him and say, I stopped carrying around a 350-pound suitcase and started living life.
Yes.
And you just move on with it.
Amen. Yeah, I can tell you what part of that is. I kid you not, is that I let go of my family. I love them from afar. I have not spoken to them for almost a year. Because they have truly been the albatross around my neck.
Well, stop carrying it.
It was tough in the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I don't need to call. I love them from afar.
Well, not only that, honey, but if they aren't being good, honorable family, then don't honor them.
That's right.
You don't have to honor negative people in your life.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't like that, but it's true.
Oh, wow. You're speaking so much truth. I mean, I'm even like that at work. It's like, you know what? I don't need to deal with this. I do not need to deal with this. And I'm just like, it's over. It's cut and dry. I don't need to explain anything to anybody. Oh, gee, why are you feeling this way? I don't need to explain this to you.
No, unless it's on your paycheck, you don't have to explain jack to anybody.
Exactly. I don't need to engage in you if I'm not feeling you. If I don't like you, I'm not engaging in you. I'm not plugging in.
Wonderful.
You can call it what you will. You can call me being stuck up, me thinking that I'm all this and that. It's not about that. I'm just not into you.
It's called keeping your doorstep clean.
Yes.
That's what it's called.
Yes.
And, people have forgotten that.
Yes.
So I think you're doing lovely. Keep it up. Remember this as you progress. And don't go back to that state of carrying around the 350 pounds of worry and baggage and stored emotions that you don't need.
Amen. Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, I've never been this happy. I've never been this happier. And I even with spirit, I mean, I'm starting to understand how spirit is working in my life now.
And you're starting to see the evolution that's there for you.
Yes. And that I don't have to worry, that it's already taken care of. It's gone ahead of me.
Exactly.
And I understand it now. Because the situation would happen in the present, and then it's like, okay, that's why I kept that. That's why I put that away. That's why I saved that, because Spirit knew that I was going to need it further on the road.
Right. But after that, you got rid of it.
Yes.
And you feel better, and you're going to continue to feel better.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, in regards to this relationship, just very quickly.
Yeah.
You say that it's going to grow from a friendship to something more.
Yes. I feel like it grows to something more.
Now, will he make the move, or will I make the move?
I feel he makes the move. Let him be the aggressor. Because he's a hunter type, honey, so he needs to be doing the hunting. Okay.
This is good. This is very good. This is beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much. You're so right on about
You're welcome.
Everything.
You have a great day.
Many blessings. You as well. Blessings to you both.
Thank you. You too.
Awesome. All right. Let's move on to number 2. Where'd you go? Oh, I hate when they disappear. Number 2 is 229. You're on the air.
229, welcome.
Yes, thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome, dear.
All right. My name is Melvin. I'm calling from Georgia.
Hi, Melvin. How are you?
All right. I just want to ask, I'm interested in a female on the job, but I'm not sure because I think another one is interested in me. And could you all tell me, like, which one is more compatible to me?
Well, first of all, what's your name and birthday? And can we at least have a name on these females?
Yes, my birthday is September the 10th, 1960.
Okay.
And
the females?
Their birthday?
Or at least their names, if you have them.
Oh, yes, ma'am. One of them name is Bobby, and the other one is Nicole.
Bobby and Nicole. Yeah,
they work with me.
Pardon me?
They work with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, here's the thing, okay? Both of them have some past issues that I see that they're dealing with. Nicole is dealing with some betrayal here. Tells me that she has some trust issues with respect to things that she needs to work through. Going into a relationship with her, you're going to be dealing with someone who is going to really struggle with trust, okay? With Bobby, I see a very strong woman, okay? Got some definite strong inner strength there. At the moment, what I see Bobby going through, and I don't necessarily see this as being a bad connection, however, at the moment, I see her going through some very dark times, things that just haven't been going well with respect to family, relationships here in the present, and so those things might interfere. I don't necessarily see either one of these women as, necessarily negative when it comes to you. The one that I'm more concerned about, I always get a little bit concerned when I see somebody dealing with trust issues. Doesn't make her incapable of, being a good person that you could have a relationship with, but trust issues, when I see that, because I see a lot of betrayal there, okay? She's been hurt. And when I see that, it tells me this could be something that you could really be dealing with. And Spirit is just telling me that you would be willing to take that on, but you're really at a place right now in your life where you really want somebody who is more ready to really be able to move forward without you having to necessarily be there taking care of them and helping them through that process.
Right.
Does that make sense right there?
Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
and I say that, not because I don't think that this woman is worthy. I absolutely think she is. She's just been hurt. And you're ready to move forward with somebody who is in a much healthier place.
Right.
With Bobby, I see a strength there. She is going through some challenges. However, I do see with her, she's probably in a better place here if you were going to be making a choice, whether or not the person is ready. I see her a little bit more ready than Nicole. However, what's your heart telling you?
Wow. It's something about Bobby. I don't know. And then Nicole, she told me that she is married, but I think she's not this guy.
Well, there's a lot of betrayal in her life.
Yes. And with Bobby, you're right. You definitely right, because she has been coming to work lately and real quiet, looking, mad or worried about something. And I told her just last night. I told her, I said, look, I'm not trying to be nosy or nothing, but, if something you're going through, we can sit down and talk. And she just said, okay, but that was it. But she's younger than I, but she is very, I think, to me, it seems like she's very mature for her age.
Yeah, I definitely see her as being a very strong woman, okay? She's like a little lioness there. She's very, very strong. She just happens to be going through a difficult time right now. And like I said, where I see you, pardon me?
Is it a family, or parents, or ex-boyfriend?
It's definitely. I get more of an energy that it's family issues. Okay, it could involve friendship relationships, not necessarily personal relationships. I see her more ready than Nicole. Obviously, with Nicole still having marriage issues, that obviously gets in the way. But she's Nicole is a little bit more needy, and I don't see that as being where you're going. I do see Bobby as the better choice, and I also see some changes coming in that work in the positive for you and Bobby coming in. Looks to me somewhere around 3 months from now, so that would probably be October.
Okay.
It'll be the end of October.
Well, I sent her a email this morning, and letting her know that I'm here for her, and I'm just want to be your friend to talk to or whatever. When she read it, what triggered her? What she was thinking about when she read that email on Facebook, the message. Excuse me.
Well, first of all, I think that she does appreciate your offering it, okay? However, I'm also seeing her not quite ready to open up. Now you've put the offer there. I'm going to encourage you for a couple of reasons. One, because she needs to sit and marinate on the things that she's going through. And, also kind of marinate, okay, on what you're bringing up here to her as an offer. Sometimes we're not quite ready to open up. It's a way of protecting. Remember, this person is very strong, okay? She's got that pride. She's strong. She likes to be known as someone who keeps it together. So I'm going to recommend you send the message. Let it lie for right now. When you see her, hey, how you doing today? Just be cheerful of answer. Just bring in that positive energy. But there will be changes coming in with respect to opportunity for relationship coming closer. Again, this looks to me like this is somewhere mid to late October.
Okay. Well, my age is not a factor with her. It's not a problem with her. There's a big age difference.
Yeah, I know there's a big age difference. Well, considering I see things working in your favor in about 3 months, I don't see it ultimately being a problem. I just see more of her being closed up right now as being the problem. But again, it's not really about you. That's how she's handling her situation, how she's handling the things that she's going through right now.
Okay. So Nicole she won't ever snap out of, whatever she's going through to open herself up to receive a good man like me?
Oh, I think she would definitely be open to it. My question is, do you really want the mess?
I said Nicole. I said Nicole, but I meant Monica. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Monica or Bobby?
No, Monica.
Okay. No, I don't see that. I don't see that opening up would be a problem. No.
Okay.
It's
because
yes.
It was another girl that we was friends, and all of a sudden she had stopped talking to me. She needed money for lunch, so I gave her a $20 bill. She needed her phone. She sent me a text like, well, I would give you a call, but my phone is off, so I gave her $40. And once I did all that, she stopped talking to me. And we worked together, too. And her name is Robin Denise.
Uh-huh.
And do you see, she's very beautiful, but do you see her apologizing to me and, seeing us becoming friends? Or?
Well, here's the thing with her, and this is kind of, I want to put it this way, okay?
Yeah.
She uses people. She will apologize if she thinks that she can get something out of it. Okay, she's very much into the physical, her ego. She has learned to take advantage. Okay?
Wow. Yeah,
and
so
right. An apology from her, you got to wait for what's coming after the apology, what she wants next. Where I want you to go with that is ask yourself, do I really want to have even a friendship with somebody who would use me?
Yeah.
Or anyone, because she does it with others too. Okay?
Wow. Yeah, that is so right. Because I'm telling you, she uses people, and it's going to come down on her, but it's going to backfire on her. She's going to meet someone that is going to be not nicer than I.
Well, and and you do. You have a wonderful, kind heart. I would rather see you with somebody like Bobby, okay? And the biggest thing with Nicole is, hon, she's a hot mess.
Yeah,
okay?
You're right. Yeah,
she's a hot mess.
Right. You are so right. When she sees her opportunity for someone to help pay her bills or something like that, and then she told me her husband doesn't talk to her and all this, and I'm like, well, why are you talking to me? I don't like to deal with married women. because I don't. It's disrespectful for them to even step out to try to deal with, go behind their spouse's back, and it's not a comfortable life to live.
Right. And you know what the thing of it is she's going to you and taking away the energy she needs to be taking into dealing with her own relationship. I see you ready for someone who is going to love and appreciate you for you and not want what they want or need out of it.
Yeah. I mean, will I meet that person? Will it be Bobby or someone else?
Well, here's the thing. I do see changes coming in with respect to you and Bobby. Early in the reading, I did see a third person, but I don't see that person coming in for a while. So it tells me there'll be at least a third choice. Who you choose, I don't know who you'll choose. There is a third choice, but that's not coming in for some time. There's some time for that. Bobby comes in first.
So, I mean, with Bobby, we can go out on dates and hang out together.
I would say that is something that would come in the future. Where I see happening here around that October time period is where she begins to start opening and your relationship changes for the better.
Wow,
okay?
Yes, I need that.
Well, you have a blessed evening, my dear.
Yeah, could you have time for one more question about my coaching job?
About your what?
My coaching job.
But we're almost out of time.
Yeah, we're running out of time.
Okay, thank you so much.
Reach Raine on psychic.biz, okay?
Okay, great. Thank you. All right.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
All right. So I will be back tomorrow night on Conversations with Aeson, and I'll take calls the whole show. I'm not going to be talking about anything. It's going to be who's in line and let's rock and roll. Because, that's how I run that show, where you guys become my co-host. And then Friday night is Radio Terror with Rose. And that's at 9. It's a little earlier than, our other shows. Of course, we got shows on all the time. You can find us over on iTunes. We're on Google Play. We're on Sketcher Radio. We're on SoundCloud. And we're opening up into new areas, too. But in the meantime, use coupon code SUMMER16 and get $5 free with any of the psychics over at psychic.biz who sponsor our show. And remember, because you're a coffee shop listener, use the coupon code COFFEE and you'll get $10 free on your deposit of a minimum of $15. So, until next week, good night, Rainey.
Good night, Aeson. Good night, all. It was a pleasure speaking with you tonight.
Are you at a crossroads in your life? Or are you feeling stuck and not sure where to turn? We can help. Visit our website at psychic.biz from your computer, smartphone, or tablet, where you can get accurate readings and insight by speaking with any one of our tested advisors. We offer live chat, video sessions, one-on-one phone calls, and even email readings. We have several gifted psychics, tarot readers, astrologers, and other healers from around the world who are available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Your initial chat is always free, and our psychics do offer special prices and low per-minute rates. Visit us today at psychic.biz and get the guidance you need today for your tomorrow.
You're listening to the Magic Happens Radio Network, sponsored by the Magic Happens magazine. You'll find us at www.themagichappens.com.